Jai Shri Mataji, please bow down to the Shri Mataji, raise your kundalini and take the bandhan. Param Pujya Shri Mataji, your Sakshat Shri Adishakti, Mother, please grant us the permission to do the meditation in your lotus feet, and please bless us effortlessly. Now please keep our right hand towards Mother Earth. Our complete attention is on center of left palm. Now please keep our right hand on our lap and left hand towards the sky. Our complete attention is on center of right palm.
We call it Mataji.
Now please keep our both the hands on our lap. Param Pujya Shri Mataji, your Sakshat Shri Nirmal Ganesha, Mother, please remove all the badhas, all the negativities from my Muladhara Chakra. And please awaken Shri Ganesh principle within us. Sir, please awaken Shri Ganesh principle within us. Now please keep our right hand on left side of our stomach below the abdomen. Param Pujya Shri Mataji, please give me pure knowledge about math. Mother, please give me pure knowledge about math. Now please keep our right hand on left side of our heart. Param Pujya Shri Mataji, I am only pure spirit. Mother, I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this ego. I am only pure spirit. Mother, please come into my heart. Mother, please come into my heart. Now please keep our right hand on left side of our neck. Param Pujya Shri Mataji, I am not guilty. Mother, I am not guilty. I am not guilty. Now please keep our right hand on our forehead. Param Pujya Shri Mataji, I have forgiven everyone, including myself. I have forgiven everyone. Now please keep our right hand on our Sahasrara. And slowly rotate our right palm clockwise 7 times on our Sahasrara. Param Pujya Shri Mataji, you are Sakshat Shri Sahasrar Swamini. You are Sakshat Shri Adishakti. Mother, please awaken my Kundalini. Mother, please bless us effortlessly. Now please keep our both the hands on our lap. Our complete attention is on center of the palms of Sahasrara.
of a different level. We've been talking all the time about the mundane things, and these things sometimes are very, what's it? It's all right. Are of so much importance, we think. But when I talked to you yesterday, I hope you all realized that we have to now jump into another realm of a subtler understanding of Sahajayoga. First, we were worried about our families, our children, our households, then our marriages. One after another, all these questions came up. And we were concerned about all these things, little things. Then we also got concerned about the ashrams which we were running, the problems of the ashram, what we have been doing, how we have been facing the problems, how people are creating problems. That's how our humanity started acquiring a subtler understanding. And then we also realized that we are blessed by God, that there's something great that is always looking after us, some higher force, some special attention is there about us. This is what we realized. Today I was explaining how it happens. That how we realize that God is helping us. Any problem is an effect of some sort of a cause. Every problem. Like Mona wrote a letter that she was driving in a motorway and the car went out of control and the brake would not act. And there was a car coming from the right, car coming from the left, cars going in front and behind. And she felt that they'll be finished. Two of them were traveling to surgeries. So the cause was the car or the brake or whatever it was, mechanism, and the effect was for the problem. So now how to overcome that problem? Supposing you try to neutralize the effect, you cannot because cause is still there. You try to improve the cause, it doesn't work out. Then what to do? So the easiest thing is to cross the cause, to ascend over, to go beyond the cause. So the cause does not exist for you, so the effect does not exist. As long as the cause exists in your attention, the effect will be. So what did she do? She just prayed to me. Just thought of me that mother, now it's my last chance. That's all. So the cause disappeared. Because you go beyond it. And the effect also disappeared. And she was surprised. So you must ascend away from the cause. Now a problem. My wife is like this, my husband like this, my family life like this, surgeries are like this, all kinds of things are there. It's a defect. Now what's the cause? Is such and such person. Alright. Now what how do you get negation of the cause? Surrender. You have the right to do that. You have a knack to do it. You can do it. You are capable of it. You are entitled to do it. But you don't do it, you forget. You just forget. If you surrender that cause, effects will go away. But that is the thing at that time to remember that you have to ascend, to go beyond the cause is the best way to get result. So I've been playing with you. You had causes to say, oh mother, this is the problem. I have no job. Now I have a job. When the job is to be had, then the wife is not there. She must have a wife, and the wife has a problem. And she's to be divorced, and that is that, and this is that. Then I'm like that. I'm very bad because there's a bhoot in me. So the bhoot is the cause, and I'm behaving like this because there's a bhoot in me. That's also a scapegoat, I think. So first you go beyond that, saying, what is bhoot? Who is bhoot? I know my mother. And mother, you look after this bhoot of mine. That's all. But for that, an emergency has to come to you. Otherwise, you just don't with that power. When you are in emergent condition, then it works out fast. When it is not emergency, it is half-hearted, like Mona's condition. There was another case where a journalist was traveling from, I think, Lonavala or something, and his brakes broke down, and he was with another journalist. So both of them were coming. This another journalist told me. The another one was surgery. So he found his brakes are not working, and he found his car is going in front. There's a big truck coming up and another truck coming from behind, and there was no way for him to turn or to get out, and his brakes were on. That was the emergency. Such an emergency that developed into his mind that, oh God, now the last moment has come. Now I'm finished. There's a truck coming from there and another truck, and within a split of a second, he was to be finished. Then he just closed his eyes and he told his friend, think of mother. That's all. And then what he found, that he was nicely crawling on the road and the trucks were left behind and the brake was good. But that emergency has to come. Human beings are such that unless and until they are put into tight corners, they never do that. Once they are in a tight corner, then they do. That is the reason why people try to take ascetic life. Because if you are an ascetic and you are in a tight corner, they go to Gobi Desert to create that emergency within you. So then you think of God. That is that. But that's too late to go to Gobi Desert. They create problems for them to get into tight corners so that they can get out. But for Sahajayogi, if they are wise, they need not have. But how do we achieve it otherwise without any getting tired? Only way is meditation. Everybody must meditate, is the point. If you do not meditate, you can continue for a while. You may be alright for a while, for 2 3 months, maybe 2 years, but then you drop. Many people think, oh, what's the need to meditate? You see, it's alright. If you don't meditate, it doesn't matter. It's not true. Because in meditation only you grow. In emergency, you suddenly grow, no doubt. I mean, you just like a jack in the box, just come up with a spring. But if you have to have a continuous growth, then you must meditate, allow the thought after thoughts coming, and then allow them to subside because you rise into the state of thoughtless awareness, and in that thoughtless awareness you grow. And you grow in your detachment to the cause of all the effects. If there is no cause, there is no effect. But this is the problem with us, is that we do not meditate normally. Only when it comes to absolute last point, now you have to fall in the well, then we think of it. Maybe at that moment you are helped, but you don't grow. Growth can only come if you meditate. That is one very important part, is complete help to people who meditate. Otherwise, in the normal life, how do we grow? If we have no oxygen, we cannot grow. We have to have sufficient oxygen, we have to have sufficient food, we have to have all these things. But in spirituality, you grow through meditation. There's no way out. Those who think they can grow are bumptious. Actually, bumptious people. Because they can talk a lot about Sahajayoga. I've seen people who talk too much about Sahajayoga. They can give big lectures, this, that, but have no vibrations at all. You can't do any work for Sahajayoga. They are not collective, they have no sense to be collective. All kinds of problems. But the growth is to be achieved through meditation. That is one part. That is, we can say, is the worship, is the puja. Then you don't have to give up anything, you just become detached. Detached from the cause itself. That's one point. Secondly, is that this I would say will take you to the subtler side of your emotional bindings. Because emotional binding has given you certain identification, you are a Christian or a Hindu or a Muslim or this and that, or a British or any kind of a race, whatever you have to call it. All those things will drop because you will be a detached person. So these emotional bindings is my brother, he is my sister, I'm worried about my wife, I'm worried about my child. All these emotional bindings which make you a smaller personality will drop out and you'll have one emotional binding, is that I'm growing in my compassion. Compassion is active. My compassion is effective. My compassion is a light. My compassion gives me discretion. I'm a yogi. And secondly, you read about Sahajayoga, you know about Sahajayoga, you know the technique of Sahajayoga, you raise your kundalini, you clean your chakras, try to understand about mantras, you master your mantras, you master your deities, you please them. All these things, when they are done properly, then your mental bindings will drop. Those who think they are great scientists, they will know that this is no science. The science of God's technique is much more. Those who think they are overread, well-read people, when they read about Sahajayoga and work it out on themselves and see for themselves and on others, they will know that whatever they have read is all stupid, has no meaning, is empty. And that's a kind of an emptiness will come. emptiness of ego, because you see that knowledge is so great. Like Newton said that knowledge is like an ocean, and I'm like a little child collecting some pebbles at its shore. What an understanding. So that emptiness comes in, and then the real knowledge starts coming. The identification with real knowledge comes. When you talk, that talk has an effect. That's a mantra. You just don't jabber. Oh, I know Sahajayoga. I've been in Sahajayoga for 15 years. Good for nothing. You may be there for 100 years, but you may remain the donkey as donkey is. Absolutely. But you may remain there only for 1 year. And you may become from a donkey a human being and a yogi too. But that is what we have to, first of all, decondition ourselves by attaching ourselves emotionally to mother. I mean, you have an advantage over many other yogis of the world who came for things that nothing to look for. They knew of a primordial mother, they knew about this, but they had no form. You have a form. You are very fortunate and lucky people, you have a form. It's easy to adore a form than to adore something abstract in the air, you see. Absolute consciousness, how do you adore it? Where do you touch it? But that attachment doesn't mean in any way that you have to give me anything. What do you give me? Nothing. But detachment from the cause. And this works out. You have seen it in your lifetime. You also say that it works out, but that's how it worked out. What is bandhan? It's nothing. But you are attaching yourself to your mother. You just telephoning to her. This is a telephone going to your mother. That's all. You know, I also play with you. I also say, all right, I'll give you a bandhan. I'm giving bandhan to myself. It's a telephone call. Just a telephone call. But the faith has developed now that yes, this is the real faith, where you get completely detached in your emotional. It's just my mother, all right, just give her a bandhan finished. My father, give him a bandhan. My brother, give him a bandhan. What are you doing? Bandhan. What are you doing? You are putting them in the bonds of your mother. But you are not conscious that you are doing that. You're just binding them with the love of your mother, which is flowing through your hand. What are these vibrations? It's your mother's love. You got it. It is flowing through you. But what about your love for
Now slowly open your eyes, bow down to the Sri Mataji and take the bandhan. Jai Sri Mataji.